So, hello. We are, you know, going to get right into the reading. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like the reading. So, in the pre-recording, the pre-shuffle, the goddess Athena came out wise decision, get clarity, seek guidance from trustworthy sources. So yeah, this is the Greek goddess of wisdom, education, and independent thoughts. So she also carries like that sword of clarity. Kind of reminds you of the swords in the tarot deck. And it's all about making a clear decision and trusting yourself. So whatever situation she finds herself in life, it's always a good decision to have wise counsel. And perhaps you have been listening to multiple opinions and whatnot. But if you have been, gathering like conflicting information but ignoring your own inner wisdom, that's what you're being signaled to stop, right? Because self-doubt is weakening your energy field. And this card is to help you act with more decisiveness and trusting yourself and your own purpose. So this card is the wisdom, and it says that have some spine, and allow the energy to like clear away any unnecessary or unneeded information. So this, I like to think about this card as like I said, being that lifelong learner. The key to like a true wisdom is trusting yourself, always furthering your education in any way that you find necessary, but making sure that you're outside of whatever is being taught to you in some curriculum. You're taking interest in becoming a well-rounded thinker, right? So this additional meanings of this one is maybe you have a like fruitful path in education, teaching, studying, researching, something of that nature is opening up. Or if you have like exams, I don't know, important things like that, something that just requires deadlines, or a legal matter coming into your favor, or just learning a new craft. So you may be learning how to do something new, something with your hands, a trade, something like that. So this card's invocation is just asking for guidance, for a personal wisdom, and help to be focused and clear in your decisions. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of, thank you for liking the video. Let's get a few tarot cards. Speaking of decisions, wise decisions, 7 is at the bottom. 7 of Cups is at the bottom. So let's see what we get. The 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Okay. 8 of Pentacles symbolizing hard, diligent. Not necessarily hard, but just like crafting, learning a new craft. That energy coming back up. Being diligent. How does a person become wise? It's like, do you become this wise person, somebody who is trusted or just knowledgeable because of all of the decisions that you make over a lifetime, right? Let's see. said, perseverance, the growth, spiritual growth that you get going through anything, right? Being crafty, like ingenuity, right? Um, the greatest inventors, went through a lot of situations, through education, different things like that. Just craftsmanship, proficiency, and any industry, like the four leaders of any industry, right? So the Eight of Pentacles highlights a well-earned reward that you have worked for. So you can always take a moment to reflect on these knowings and know that you deserve like a pat on the back for, you know, how hard you. Hello to the chat. Hi. Um, for all of the, things that you worked hard for. Just having strong will to do and to not do, or just being very mindful, diligently, right? Taking, diligently, crafting your mind space, or, anything that you're working on. It does take focus and it takes will. And, this doesn't need to be stressful at all, right? So it can be just like a newfound adventure that you're going on. So this card is also like, it relates to formal training. Again, like education. It talks about, like the goddess of Athena, right? And it's also just about self-determination. So something that's just coming from you intrinsically. Even if people are born like with. So I'm trying to let me. Even if people are born right with like everything that you outwardly, physically don't have, they still want intrinsically to have their own will, their own drive. So there's nothing that anyone else can give you in like worldly possessions that will take away your will to want to craft and create something for yourself, right? That's your spiritual self-determination. That will kind of reminds me of the alchemist, but it's that awareness that comes through growing and learning that we all have to experience. We can't just be, told about it. So I wonder if we should get another. Let's see. Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands. So, the Knight of Wands, your internal fire. It's kind of like the quest. Kind of feels like somebody who's going on a quest, a journey. The Knight is all about. Let's see, some keys to this one. Like I said, Avengers. Fearless Avengers. The fire. I don't know. I feel like these all three. Learning through doing, through going. Kind of reminds me of also the Three of Wands as well. With the Three of Wands, it also has like that journey type of vibe to it. Being impatient. Wanting to explore fearlessly. Being daring and not holding back, being very self-assured. You're making things happen basically for yourself, and after everything that you work towards and have experienced, your personal goals, they like shift over time, and it's your personal ambitions have made it very clear that having a plan, like that Two of Wands, that Three of Wands energy of like having a plan and seeing it come into fruition, kind of like that Virgo energy, like planning all the details down and seeing those things come and being able to experience that. So you like to make a plan, or else you may feel rushed when it comes to getting things done. So the Knight of Wands Ones is definitely, ready for whatever and will always, attract an accelerated amount of energy. So this energy is like very witty, smart, funny, and doesn't have a problem like connecting with people. And at the end of the day, that's how people make you successful, right? So people liking you is an important part. So you having that naturally going for yourself makes it very easy for you in life, as well as you being good at what you do, obviously. But um, people liking you is the plus, right? And that's what we're all aiming for, especially when we're trying to make something out of ourselves. People have to naturally want to be around you, and that's what this energy of the Knight of Wands symbolizes. And is also very determined when it comes to getting things done. So it's very much in line with the Eight of Pentacles. Anyway, it's like you're using those things that you have to your advantage, right? And you definitely have a vision and drive to reach your goals, but you're not trying to be. You're having to control your energy and not be too hasty as well. So, and the hastiness comes from like external pressures, by the way. So, you know, making sure that you're making decisions for yourself. Alright, let's get another. Well, well. I shuffled a little bit, so that's the card that wanted to come out. I said that this very much had the Queen of Swords energy, wise, air, Aquarius, um, like thought-provoking as well. That energy. Um, of course, that's what Athena symbolizes that we've talked about, and it takes a lot of mental power to, be very crafty, very witty. The Swords Queen. Some keys of the Queen of Swords is all about authority, is being very strong, independent in your intellectual pursuits, and very articulate. You're able to articulate your ideas, which is also very important when you're trying to convey anything to customers or, whatever your audience is. For whatever you're doing, you need an audience of, people who are like-minded, right? Whatever you're trying to craft for yourself. So the diligent worker in you, which just cares about, making great things, the Eight of Pentacles energy, has to evolve with the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is telling you that, you have to rally up the troops, right? You have to, get people to believe in or, be surrounded in what you're doing with the Eight of Pentacles, right? So that causes you to be like the Queen of Swords. You have to be very strategic about, how you're going to get this done. So your strength and power of discernment is always needed, right? And you may want to detach your inner emotions or fears from any given situation so that you can be that leader that you need to be with the Knight of Wands, right? And an incredibly insightful, quick-witted person is like that Queen of Swords energy, and you're able to see through any illusions, right? And to speaking your truth and speaking truth to people, you have a very high authority through that. You have that perception of being honest. People, see you as very straightforward and analytical, and they know that you embody like a deep maturity that comes through life's experiences, right? That's that's that Eight of Pentacles and the journey energy, right? So there is no point in wobbling, over spilled milk. It's better to, learn and move on. That's Queen of Swords energy as well. Um, Very supportive and loyal, even though you may seem cold, you are, helpful. Nonetheless, so the way that you help people may be, with a lot of boundaries as are necessary. But you are, through your wisdom, you help in the ways that are, comfortable for you. So, through your strength of discernment, you're able to use your compassion better, right? And not just being overly taken advantage of. So, let's get one more. Okay, so to end on the major arcana, it's very nice, especially with the, sun card. Always symbolizes, great positive future ahead, of course. So, the sun card, like I said, is like the good omen card of the deck as well. It's just like um, an open-ended amount of abundance flowing. So it's not like a specific way because it's so free. So let's see. It's also the opposite of like obviously we know it's the opposite of the moon, and the moon is like symbolizing like imagination. So your sun card, your sun side is the side that has to be very, logical and analytical, like the Queen of Swords, Athena energy, just having to be wise and determined. Also, that Knight of Wands energy, but just being very, after you, have to take care of business, you are very much, how do I say this? You're like very much into your pleasure, right? So that warmth, that sincerity, that's what the, sun symbolizes, that freedom to have, enjoy your success and, enjoy it with, good health, that prosperity, success, abundance. It's like you can finally feel, free to open up and, just experience your inner child, just having like fun. Like a lot of our perceptions and the things that we like are, shaped by that. The ages from like 7 to 14. So if, the adult problems, that you're going through and dealing with, if they were out of your way, what would you be enjoying? And, a smart person like you are, very wise, you have found a way and you're finding ways to incorporate that energy throughout, whatever you're actually crafting in the world and bringing other people to liking these things as well. So, it's just that energy of whatever you are, diligently working towards is something that, when it's showing up, it's time to acknowledge that those blessings have arrived for whatever you've been working towards. So it's an expansive, like, joyous feeling, and it's coming with a renewed sense of abundance, like a higher state of abundance and a higher state of consciousness as well. So this elevates your inner growth and connects you with the divine light. And you can definitely understand at this time that you are succeeding at a new level, right? And it's new, vibrant ways that you weren't able to possibly just think of, because it's like the open ended. So, allowing source, to, that spirit to come in and just surprise you, and, finding happiness in that. And when you resonate this way, it is only natural that more light will shine down on you, right? And that the ones you love as well. So, it's, the sun is very healing in that way. So basking in the healing, like the healing energy of the sun as well. If it can grow like trees and plants, and doing a lot for the planet, I'm sure it can do you some good to like be outside and just soaking up those rays as well. And trusting that transformational energy, because it has guided you this far. So the sun is always a good, that summertime is here. Thinking like 7 days or so. I can't remember exactly, but that is, like I said, it's always a good omen, omen. So that coming out here is like, being able to enjoy your abundance season, and having the wisdom to know when to, lean into that, and relax, and yeah, it's kind of that time to enjoy the harvest that you like kind of squirreled away in fall, coming out and, being able to have more experiences before you have to basically be held up again in hibernation. So it's the time to enjoy those ripened fruits, and that is definitely your reading today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all who stayed here and were live, and if you're watching the replay,